What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of Profiling Passionate People. I'm your host, Salma Ladvinka, and today I just want you guys to listen to this really quick. So that is the voice of the lovely and talented Miss Eliza Lee that is actually joining us right now from her home in Sydney. There she is. How are you doing?
Amazing. So happy to be here.
I'm so thankful to have you.
And so far away.
I know, so far away. I mean, it's kind of sunsetting over here in LA, but obviously top of the morning to you down there in Sydney, Australia. So how is the future and how does Thursday morning look for us right now?
Look, what can I say? It's still lockdown over here, so I feel like we're almost living in the past.
True.
But for you guys, we're living in your past, but
I mean, you're
staying positive.
Yeah, you're alive, healthy, and obviously putting out the music that you're putting. And I just want to give a quick rundown of how we actually met and how I've followed your career since we met. So I was a Lyft driver for a short time, and on my days off when I wasn't at ESPN, I picked her up and she got in the backseat of my car, and it was like, I believe in the Hollywood area. And I believe you had just left.
Is that where it was?
Yeah.
I know it was in LA somewhere. I like don't.
Somewhere in LA, but what instantly, I mean, obviously with any passenger that gets in my car, I'm always, hey, how's your day going? But you had an accent and I was like, oh, let's, just small talk, where are you from? And you had mentioned Australia. And I was like, hey, what are you doing out here? And you just tell me that you're this musician, and we just, exchange social medias after that. And like I said before we got on this right now, it's like, I love listening to your music and just on replay and replay. And with the social media following that you have, you always have those, hey, ask me a question, what's on your mind topics. And I'm always asking, hey, when's the new song coming out? And you never seem to disappoint. And I mean, from Boo to Boom Crash to 2662 and this latest one with No Strings. I mean, you are just a woman on a mission right now.
Oh, Hugh, that is so nice. I feel like I've definitely taken a bit of a hiatus the past year or so, but still got so much more to come out. So
I'm hoping that you do.
Like 2019.
Yeah, that was 2019. Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's been forever, but the fact that what I love about you is you're just so genuine. And I can message you, and we've talked about hopping on the show for a while now, and you loved the idea and you said absolutely. And the fact that we haven't talked face to face, or well, I should say, driver to backseat action, but the fact that you remember who I was, and that really meant something to me. And the fact that you were willing and wanting to get on here, I really appreciate that. And so, like I said, I'm the first person, as soon as music drops, I'm going to be reposting and telling, hey, you guys got to listen to her. And when we just got on the recording right now, your voice has just continued to be the well-seasoned, the vibe that you give off in your music. I mean, this is why you have the social media following that you do.
Oh, thank you. That is so kind. Well, I'm so excited to finally catch up.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
I know. I feel like kicking my feet up, grabbing a cup of coffee with you, and we can just chat for hours. But I just, we've talked about the concept of this podcast. How did you become, the singer-songwriter that you are today?
Well, I was never so into the singing aspect. I started writing songs from like when I was 5 or something. I would just write songs about anything. It was just something I did for fun. And then growing up, it was kind of how I processed different things. Like as a teenager and stuff, I would write songs about my life. It was never anything I took seriously. It was really just something that I did, kind of not secret, but like I didn't tell anyone. And then it was like my last year of high school, I started posting videos on Instagram, and then people seemed to like it, like videos of just like my songs that I was writing at the time. And then I went on to yeah, to be like, oh, this is what I want to do. And I just got into
Nice.
the studio. I started working with a bunch of producers, spent quite a bit of time in LA.
Yeah.
And yeah, my goal right now is to go back to LA because I miss it so much.
Of course, I'm sure LA misses you as well, but I mean, you got to work with some wonderful musicians and artists and songwriters. Tell me about your time with Philip White.
Oh, he's amazing. So we did a bunch of songs together. I think I first met him. He is in a writing team at the moment with another friend of mine, Brian and Mika, and they are so talented. Um, they're like a writing producing group.
Yeah, yeah.
And I did a bunch of sessions with them 2018 and 2019.
Nice.
Um, Philip is amazing though. So we did Boo, my first single together. And he's one of those guys, like I was so new to it as well at the time. Like I was so new to being in the studio and collaborating. Um, and just the way he writes is so fast and so um I don't know, just very impressive. He's very impressive. Like he'll just get on the mic and improvise, and then he'll just come up with these amazing melodies that are so catchy. And yeah, so I loved working with him.
Yeah, and obviously Boo has got the love that it definitely deserves. That was your debut single. It's got over 160,000 streams just on Spotify alone. And then, you know, you go over to Cobalt Publishing, who works with artists such as like Pitbull, Zayn, Lionel Richie, Sam Smith, Dua Lipa, and obviously yourself. And so tell me about that time with them.
That was amazing as well. I am being taken back. It's been so long since I was in LA,
Yeah,
but yeah, so I got to work with some people that have written some of like my favorite songs that I grew up listening to, which is exciting. And
nice.
I'm still doing Zoom sessions when I can. Obviously, it's not the same doing it remotely, but it's still like, we try and make the most. But yeah, that was amazing. I feel like it's interesting. Sometimes I would go into a session feeling like, oh, this person doesn't really write the same type of music as me. Like it might not work. We have very different styles. But then sometimes those are the sessions where the magic happens. Like you never really know who you're gonna click with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the music just it just seems like it just pours out of you. Like I said, you have that certain tone, that certain voice about you that is just so genuine. And like I said, just going from the four songs that have been released, if not, you know, more in the future, I can just literally close my eyes and I can just tell like, okay, this is Eliza Lee's music and how you have that range and that certain oomph about you. And that's what really, I mean, other than the fact that we met that one day and I became a fan instantly, but the fact that you put yourself into the music and it just seems like you have a very reach with your listeners, like, hey, this is what's going on. And like you had mentioned earlier, the fact that growing up you would write about your life. So that songwriting before, has that been able to be produced into the music that's been published right now?
Yeah, definitely. I think I always try to, I mean, I think most writers, we write from experience. So I always take inspiration from my own life. Like I grew up doing it and I still do it in my writing today because I feel like
Nice.
when I listen to the songs that I love the most, that I resonate with the most, are like some of like real experiences that I feel like I can relate to. So I definitely try and, I don't know. It's also like therapeutic for me. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like a lot of songwriters will say it's kind of like my therapy writing about things that are happening. It's like how I process things anyway. So like may as well make it into a good song.
Yeah. And I think I love the mysteriousness because obviously, you know, when we are young and we are out in LA, you connect with people. And I'm reading about the backstory about 2662 and just the
Yeah.
mysteriousness about that. And like I said, it just seems like you just can connect with any listener possible with your music.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. I definitely yeah, I'm finding new things to write about all the time. I think I'm also realizing that there's so much to write about outside of men and relationships as well. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to expand in that sense.
Of course. And like I said, this latest song that you just came out with, collaborating with Same Land and Ellis Hall with No Strings. Like I said, I've had that one on repeat. And I don't say this
Oh,
loosely, but when I see talent and I hear talent, I don't say this loosely, but your voice sounds so seasoned, like an Ariana Grande, where you have those vocals that can take it to that next level. And it's just so smooth and just so soothing. So, obviously the talent is you yourself, but whoever you're working with, kudos to them. But yeah, your music has just been taking off, and it clearly has the love that is going back towards you.
oh, thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you. I'm so glad you like it. I'm so glad.
of
Alex
course.
was so good to work with on that as well. It was great. His voice, I feel like just, I don't know, I wasn't sure about the song until I heard his verse on it. I don't know why, it just like made it
Yeah.
pop for me.
Nice. Yeah, and you plugged it in, and it's becoming the hit that it has. Like I said, Boom Crash has got 160,000 views or listens. And Boo's got 160, 2662's got 290,000. Like, I mean, again, the sky's the limit for you. But I want to take it a little personal here, and I just want to ask you, you being in the role that you are in, being this young, dominant, independent woman that is taking on the world, what do you have to say to the younger generation that obviously idolizes and views you as, a role model?
I would say to the younger generation, this is something I've been thinking about a lot lately.
Yeah.
Just when it comes to your art, if you're a creative person, you're a young creative person, go with your gut, because there's always going to be someone that doesn't like it or has an opinion. Art is so subjective. You have to know whether it feels good to you. Like that should be your decider when it main like motivator when it comes to making art and making what feels good to you. Because I think when I was younger, I was so worried about making music that was like cool or like what people wanted.
Yeah.
um and I feel like when you get too focused on that, you can kind of stray from making amazing art that feels like authentic and good to you. So I would say stick with your gut and follow your passion, because you know we get one life.
Yeah.
That's
And obviously you're making the most of it. I'm sure during this quarantine down there in Australia, you do have a lot of downtime, and you already know I'm gonna be bugging you like, hey, let me know when the next music is coming out and everything.
You'll
So
be the first to know. I will definitely let you know.
I really appreciate that. And just moving forward, like I said, just you being the role model that you are, I just really appreciate you coming on here and telling us your stories and telling us and giving us an update with what's going on. So I will be posting all the links to your songs. Like I said, guys, you need to take a listen to her, because very, very soothing. That is for sure. So when I go out to Australia, it's gonna be for my birthday next year.
Yes.
If I can treat you to some
Have you
coffee or
ever been?
something. I've never been. I've
Uh,
never been. So definitely would love to see what Australia is all about. My main goal in life is I want to hold a koala. Like that's like my
oh,
lifelong
really?
dream. Yeah.
I've
So
actually never had one.
oh,
I should
oh
probably get on.
okay.
I
But
feel like when you live here, you don't do as many touristy things,
okay, fair enough.
but
Fair
I
enough.
should. I should. That sounds fun.
Definitely. All right. Well, you continue to stay safe, and we will be in contact again. That is Miss Eliza Lee, and I just really appreciate you coming on. And as you've seen from her story, just continue to stay passionate, go with your gut, and you know everything will be good after that. So
Thank you.
thank you so much. You have yourself a great day, and you guys stay passionate. All right, guys.
Okay. Bye.